My name is Samantha Huster, and over the course of this year, I crocheted a garland of pride flags to hang around the atrium at my school. The process for making these was simple. I measured the perimeter of the atrium and then got to work with a group of friends to help me with my efforts. Every class I would walk in, put my headphones in, and crochet for a solid 80 minutes or so. However, the difficult part of the project for me was starting it. In the beginning of this year, I joined this class as a requirement for the STEM Academy. I joined this class because I needed to, and not that I wanted to. This was a common theme in almost all of the actions I reflected on. In the beginning of this year, we were asked what we did over the summer. However, we were asked what actions we took. Not going on vacation with our parents, not some activity we joined, but what we had actually taken action on and done. I found myself at a loss, and the only thing I could think of was that I crocheted myself a skirt. Every single other activity I had done over the course of the summer had not been my choice. I had a say in them, of course, but it wasn't something I did of my own accord. I had a similar experience when trying to choose this project. We were given so much freedom that I was not used to in my other classes. I found myself having to actually think rather than mindlessly regurgitating information. This was a huge challenge for me, and I didn't know what I cared about or what was important to me. I couldn't find my purpose. I eventually landed on crocheting, as it's my favorite hobby and it was something I knew I would enjoy. Crocheting is something that has brought my mom and I together, and this craft is something that means a lot to me. I speculated for a while, considering making my own pattern or a quilt, but I eventually settled on a more achievable, but still impressive goal of a garland for Pride Month. I noticed there weren't a lot of Pride celebrations or decorations around Morristown, so I decided to make one. A few pivots later, I was ready to rock and roll on a garland around the atrium in MHS. I checked all the boxes I made for myself. 1, it was achievable. 2, it was enjoyable. And 3, it was something I was passionate about. It was still missing something, though. I wanted to crochet, but what was the purpose of doing any of it if it was just fun for me? It took me a while to understand what I was missing, but it all clicked when I saw this diagram Mr. Daly and Mr. Madden presented to us. It defines purpose as a life compass that motivates and guides you to powerfully contribute to others and the world, while simultaneously providing you with a lasting sense of personal meaning. I don't know about you, but when I first heard this, I thought it was some fluffy words arranged in a sentence to make it seem impactful, but not actually mean anything. However, it started to make sense once I looked at the Venn diagram. This diagram outlines the steps to success needed to find purpose. However, purpose is not just why you're doing something, as I originally thought. It also includes action and an understanding of what matters to you. I worked hard on making this project work out, and took many actions to make it happen. I not only knew why I was doing it, or why it mattered to me, I was making viable progress towards my goals. However, this project did not come without any hiccups. I quickly realized that this would be too big to take on alone, so I got together a group of friends who knew how to crochet. I had grand plans of movie nights or fun weekend meetups with everyone to get together for this cause, but it didn't exactly go as planned. I was not thinking of everyone's and mine extremely busy schedules. As soon as I had a free day, I would text and no one could make it. I only met up with one friend after school to work on this over the course of the whole project, which is a huge disappointment. While I received some help from friends on this project, most of the support I was able to get was from family members who were more readily available. This project has taught me to plan more in depth when handling other people's schedules, as well as to use the resources available to me to make the best of it. Both crocheting and pride mean a lot to me, and are a key part of my identity, and this project was a fantastic way to combine these two things. I'll admit, at the beginning of this project, I almost laughed when Mr. Daly and Mr. Madden suggested combining crafting and pride. The two had no correlation in my mind. However, as I thought about this idea more, I realized that both of these things meant a lot to me. This project combined something tangible, a physical piece of art, and gave it meaning beyond practicality. Every crochet project I had made before this was simply for practical use. I made a hat to wear in the winter. I made a skirt for a costume. Even the heartfelt gifts to loved ones held a different meaning than these flags. These flags are a showcase to the community here at the high school that it is okay to be yourself and to raise awareness for the issue as a whole. This project not only showed me what was important to me, it also helped me realize the serious lack of knowledge of LGBTQ issues. At each of the life design nights, I set up my project and prepared for the worst. The political climate was and still is not the best when surrounding LGBTQ plus issues, so I was expecting at least a little bit of hate or awkwardness. What I was not expecting, however, was the amount of people who didn't know what I was doing at all. Many people walked up to me and their first question was, "Did you just pick the colors for fun?" Or, of course, I explained to them right then and there that each pride flag stood for a different gender identity or sexuality, but it left me wondering how many people had no idea what I was doing or what my project meant. On exhibition night, I decided to put together a slideshow of all the different flags I made and the meaning of each. And one of the people I met there suggested a plaque of some sort to hang up in the atrium to show these definitions. This was one of many eye-opening conversations I had with several of these attendees at these LDL nights. One conversation that stood out to me was the English supervisor here at MHS, and we had a lengthy discussion on why it was so important I was doing this. During that conversation, I realized why this project meant so much to me. I wanted to help the people in my school who are feeling scared or unsafe in this tumultuous time in our country to feel accepted and safe, even if they cannot express that openly. That is why this project means so much to me. So much has changed in our world since I started this project, and in turn, the project itself has changed. I might have stuck to the original plans of a pride garland, but what this project means to me has transformed into something completely different. What started out as a celebration of pride has turned into a beacon of safety and security for anyone feeling scared as a result of the persecution of their identity. I have also changed over the course of this project, and my passion for this cause has never been greater. This project has raised my attention to the unfortunate lack of understanding of the LGBTQ plus community by the public, and I intend to continue to raise awareness to this cause. The world needs to understand the lives and the culture that is currently living in fear, and I want those in fear to feel safe in our community. Thank you.